IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with amusement parks. Did you know that the world's tallest roller coaster is called the Kingda Ka? It is at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, USA. And the terrifying thing about this particular roller coaster is that it has the world's highest drop as well. So you basically accelerate through 127 meters of a drop, reaching a speed of over 204 kilometers per hour. Now, that is really fast and scary. And I'm not a fan of roller coasters. To put things in perspective, I get terrified watching onboard footage of roller coasters. And if it were up to me, I would happily never set foot in a roller coaster for the rest of my life. But alas, my friends and family always end up winning this argument with me, so I'm forced to sit in those unnecessary, twisty, loopy machines. Today, I want to talk about another drop that takes place in our lives. And unlike a roller coaster, these drops are not things that we did choose. Ever so often, our life goes into a slump. And there are days when we feel low or sad or lethargic, where we are not in control of our moods and feelings, where it seems like the whole world is going against us and there is nothing that we can do about it. And just like a roller coaster, these drops come out of nowhere. Everything is going well and smooth and suddenly, bam, life hits you with a slump. Your dog falls sick. Your boss shouts at you. The ATM swallows up your card. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Then you feel all of this is your fault, that you are a lousy person. You make all of this happening to you about you. But the two are very different things. Now, does this sound familiar? Chances are that this was you just last week. So I thought I'd share 3 steps with you to take care of this slump. Now, these are not habits because I hope you don't get into a habit of making a slump. But stage 1 is venting the frustration. And you can do this by screaming into a pillow at home. Give as many bad words to your boss or that person that bumped into your car as you like. Now, you can also vent by punching that pillow or try doing karate kicks in the air. Just vent that anger and frustration out of you. That was step 1. Step 2 is reprogramming. And you do this by playing music that makes you happy, that makes you want to sing along or scream along at the top of your lungs, music that makes you want to get up and dance, or music that reminds you of a time when you were extraordinarily happy. Step 3 is treat yourself to something that you like, that you enjoy without any guilt. And this treat is meant to be healing and not just for pleasure. It could be going out for your favorite restaurant. It could be going out for a movie. It could be getting a massage or just lazing in front of the TV. Anything that makes you happy. The important thing is that slumps are very real things. We all feel them from time to time. And I'm writing this episode after being in a slump myself just yesterday. And the last thing I want to leave you with is the idea that the slump is not your fault. You are not the problem. You are not responsible. You are not the cause of the slump, but you are responsible of how you feel about the slump. And you have the ability to change your mood completely. So use these steps and get yourself out of that funky slump. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show. For those who prefer listening to it in that language, do make sure you let your Kannada-speaking friends know about this as well. Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says His Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Vagda, and Antariksh talk about the American mother who was arrested because her kid took marijuana-laced gummies to school. Vagda is a co-host for our show Press Decode, so if you haven't been checking that out, check her out on that show as well as this one. The Simplified Gang explore Mumbai through Naren's stories and observations. On All Things Policies, the Takshashila folk discuss the U.S. Supreme Court's potential decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. On the Life Manifesto, Zarina introduces us to Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements of Life. And on Hansivani, hear the story Nai Idga. It explores the role of media amidst a state of religious animosity in our country. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we've been doing a series of profiles of people within the office, so do check that out for sure. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We have a page on our website, ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, with a list of all our channels. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you, the listener, responds to the advertising on our network. And also, we just want to know a little bit more about you. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It will really help us build some better shows for you. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, a digital banking app. There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.